International Social Service Organization and Sulabh International Museum of Toilets. Sri Pankaj Jain is also a former Secretary to Government of India, Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation.
Shri Amitabh Kant, Shri Ram Bahadur Rai, Shri Sachidanand Joshi, Shri Asif Kazmi, Professor Ramesh C. Gaur, and friends here. A very good afternoon to everybody. And I'm very happy to be here today in this set of book launches. I think there are 8 to 12 book launches. So I was just talking to Prakash Singh Saab before the start of this function, and we were sharing that reading of books is slowly going down. It is so unfortunate. In his time and even in our times, we would go to libraries, take books, and actually wait for certain subject books or certain authors, certain titles to be returned so that we could get hold of it and read it. Now somehow that time is going off and people are, becoming addicted to mobiles, WhatsApp University, and Kindle and movies, especially OTTs. They're taking over the interest of most of the youngsters, which is actually a real pity. The romance, what the books can bring out is somehow fading away, and it's taking, as somebody said, is being replaced by quickies, which we have to kind of neutralize and think about. And as you know, the books have always been a source of joy. All of us, at least my generation and earlier generations, would love to have a book rack at the back behind our office or table or our residence office, and look at the smart array of authors and books. Even though I admit that most of us in our life would never get the opportunity to read them cover to cover. But we would be happy to own them. And I also buy books, and I'm unable to go through all the books cover to cover. Although it's my dream, it's in my bucket list that I should read more books and actually try to read them cover to cover. But the least I can enjoy is I read some chapters of the books, and then I buy books, I read some chapters, and then stack them away, thinking that I'll get more time to read them fully, which I don't get because I'm still working, and we are occupied by so many things, and we are distracted by movies. The easier escapes, I would say, the Netflix, the Amazon Prime, and other OTTs. Now, just to mention that authors write books either because they want to capture contemporary history, is one aspect, or capture it either by first-hand seeing it happenings, or by interactions with people, so that they get the flavor as what is happening, and that gets recorded in history as history over the time, and people read about it. So that you can say is the first hand, the primary evidence. But a lot of people, authors, write historical books based on secondary evidence. They analyze the historical happenings by reading about them, and then analyzing, after reading a number of authors, they analyze what was done, what were the meanings of it, how it happened, or why certain things could have been avoided. But both these type of books are very interesting and gripping, the ones which are contemporarily written and read later, and those which are an analysis of history. Because they all present in some way or the other, whether the romance of history or the horrors of history, both are presented. Equally enjoyable are autobiographies and biographies, some of which are going to be presented here. Because sometimes they, of course, tell about the readers or writers' what he has achieved in life. For example, on management, So if he's actually come through his own formulae of good management. He writes and familiarizes others with it. And sometimes the authors like to cover juicy incidents of their life. So that itself is very interesting and acceptable, which otherwise would not come into public light. For example, if I am posted in Jammu and Kashmir, I have seen tidbits of what has happened there, which never gets recorded in history. Small incidents may not. I mean, for example, it took 30 years for a movie like Kashmir Files to come out. And in 1990, I've seen everything of those things, each and everything. But it never comes out in the light of day unless somebody writes about it or makes a movie about it. So that in way, recording by authors becomes very important. So books are that way very important. And in some cases, you have dictators who write autobiographies like Adolf Hitler. He wrote Mein Kampf. You may say he's a megalomaniac, but from his book, you understand what is his thinking. And that itself is a lesson in history. So it's important to read it, which cannot be captured by a movie or by anybody telling a short story to another person. So that is another value of reading a book. And sometimes, the autobiography serves as a catharsis. A man wants to let out steam as to what he did or did not do. He wants to explain his actions or his failures or his successes. So that is another very interesting aspect of books which is easily not captured by a movie. Now, social changes. The books are a very powerful agent of a social change being captured. Now, in Sulabh, we have written a large number of books, on social aspects. Like, our founder, he turned the pages of history by liberating the Bengal scavengers. We have documented all that in large number of books. We've even written a book on menstrual hygiene, how menstrual hygiene is in India, which I presented to Madhuraji in the afternoon. And it's in one book which we have documented with actual survey, practical survey. I don't think even in the government you have such a book available. You might have a few. We covered 14 aspirational districts and each one is in detailed documentation. So these things can lead to social changes. In fact, when we have liberated the scavengers, we are educating them. We are giving them alternate employment through vocational training. And that is also covered by our books. So people read about it, they understand this social change. Of course, we have other types of books which are education books on science, technology, medicine, law. But these are education type of books. And on the other hand, we have thrillers, We have fiction thrillers, you have romance novels, you have science fiction. These are different types of books, all of which are very enjoyable. And I'd like to say that book launches like this are extremely enjoyable. They're not only enjoyable for the author who's written them because he's projecting what he thinks, his own life also maybe, and what should be, and things like that. It showcases new books to the public before they come out, and by word of mouth it spreads. Then it goes into the libraries and into Kindle or Amazon for sale. I wouldn't know many people whose book launches are today, but I'm very sure each one of them are very interesting. I know a few, but I have not read any of these books. But they're very, very impressive what I could make out from the cover. Here almost at the end, I would like to confess I'm not a very avid reader, although I know the advantages of reading. It's, I have bought books, as I mentioned, I kept them, and sometimes I go through the pages, covers. It's only because we all are occupied in so many things. And I do, of course, read a little bit of history and books on technical matters, management, legal issues, but mostly for either my office work or for giving a talk or something, or for debates. But that's not, or sometimes I read thrillers. And in fact, nothing like a thriller when you are sick. I'll give you an example. When I was 13 years old, I fell off a horse. My father was the IPS, just like Prakash Singh Saab. in UP Kadar, so we used to do horse riding. And once, when I was only 13, the horse threw me off and actually fell on me, and I was very badly injured. I couldn't get up from bed for 40 days. And you know how I cut my time? I had friends from US who were also doing horse riding. So they used to give me books and comics every day. And that's how I cut these 40 days, reading these books. That's the real value of books. So it's man's best friend in a way. So in the end, I would like to congratulate the authors whose books are being released. And I wish them very high readership, because every author wants his books to be read and read widely and be recognized. Thank you very much.